All right, great piece that I just found really fascinating from Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net. And this was just diving into how Kellen Moore spreads the ball around on offense and what it may mean for the Saints. And what he found in going back to the 2020 Cowboys, 2021 Cowboys, 2022 Cowboys, 2023 Chargers, 2024 Eagles. So you're talking about 5 years, 3 stops. The consistency with which Kellen Moore gets his position groups involved is really jarring. You look at the running backs in terms of receptions. Every year, they were between 15% and 18% of the target shares. Every year. That's right on a razor's edge, 15 to 18%. There wasn't a single outlier. You look at the tight end. Every single year, between 17 and 23%. In 2021, 20%. 2023, 21%. 2024, 20%. That's 3 different teams. Cowboys in 2021, 20% of the targets tight end. Chargers in 2023, 21% of the target shares tight end. Eagles last year, 20%. 3 different teams, 3 different quarterbacks. Right there, consistently. And then every single year, wide receivers between 60 and 64%. So one thing is that every group is consistently in the same range, and the other is that it is spread. You didn't have any year where the wide receivers were targeted 80% of the time. You didn't have any year where there were just a boatload of checkdowns and the running backs got 30% of the targets. It's just a very structured, predictable, and efficient offense that has run in multiple different stops. So the question is, does the personnel at New Orleans dictate a change? Because Jalen Hurts is not the same as Justin Herbert, is not the same as Dak Prescott. And you've now got a rookie quarterback in Tyler Shough. And Alvin Kamara has been a large piece to the Saints passing game since he showed up. Every year since 2020 in New Orleans, the backs have seen at least 20% of the targets. That would be more than any stop in Kellen Moore's young career calling plays. Does that Alvin Kamara effect, as Ross termed it, skew the numbers? And I'm curious to see just how much Kellen Moore can replicate his success with veteran quarterbacks at other stops with a rookie quarterback at this stop. Because while we're certainly evaluating Tyler Shough very closely, and I've told you time and time and time again that I want to see this younger, cheaper roster emerge, and you've got to get 4 starters from this draft class, and Shough's got to hit, and you've got to move on from the contracts of Cam Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu, and you've got Ramchick out of the way, and I talk to you about the players all the time. We are evaluating Kellen Moore here because you got to make sure you got that right too. I think it's more difficult to tell in year one if you've got that right when you got a rookie quarterback under center. But if he can replicate a lot of the things from a target share, a yardage, and a points production with a rookie quarterback in this Saints offense, which I believe is a little bit limited on weapons. I don't believe your wide receiving core is elite. I don't believe your tight end group is elite. I believe your running back room is shallow and has an aging player in it. I don't think the Saints offense is elite from a player perspective. But if Kellen Moore can put similar numbers up with this group, you've got something. And I think that it's likely to me that Alvin Kamara and the running back group takes a higher share than what we saw in Dallas, Los Angeles, and in Philly, which was 15 to 18%. I think it's probably north of 20, 21, 22, 25%. Because, you're going to have a rookie quarterback. He's going to want to get the ball out of his hands. You're going to want to get the ball to Kamara, and it just makes too much sense. But what you don't want to see is the wide receiver share dip too low, because it's been remarkably consistent between 60 and 64%. And if you don't target the wide receivers, you don't have as good a chance to make big plays. And in the NFL, you have to make big plays. And if you've got a quarterback that's afraid to make big plays because he's afraid to make mistakes, and he just checks it down to the running back too much, and he just deals with the tight end too much, then you've got a guy that's got training wheels on and is not developing. So these numbers to me are very, very fascinating. And I think everyone, well, I shouldn't say everyone. I feel like most understand that the Saints this year are up against it with a first-year head coach and a first-year quarterback. And I don't think the grading curve is going to be too harsh. I think everybody understands there are going to be some Sundays that probably don't go so hot. But if, especially by November and December, things start to look a little bit better and these percentages bear themselves out with this cast of characters, the same as it did with the Cowboys when you had elite-level skill talent, let's be honest, and Philly, where you certainly had elite-level skill talent last year, and you can do some of that stuff with the New Orleans team, that's a really, really encouraging number for Kellen Moore and for the Saints as they move forward. I'm not here to tell you that Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks look a ton like that Eagles wide receiving core we watched last year. It was just fantastic. But it's about play calling, creating space, and Olave's been a 1,000-yard guy. Cooks can make big plays. I'm not saying steer away from Kamara. Get him the ball. But you don't want it to become too much of the offense. You need the offense to push the ball down the field. So I think these numbers are great. It's incredible that Ross pulled this stuff up, and these are the kind of things that you can get over at LouisianaSports.net. And there's something that I'll certainly be monitoring as we move forward with this New Orleans team. It's kind of interesting to go into a season without just like a vice grip on your expectations, holding on for dear life. It's just kind of you go in going, well, I hope this looks good. And if you can look something like that, you can really crank up the optimism meter in New Orleans. Let's look at the Saints here on this Thursday. If you're looking for Saints content, you can certainly find it. Hunt on Saints. Hunt on Saints is where all of our Saints content lives, on YouTube as well as wherever you find your podcasts. LouisianaSports.net, great free resource as well. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.